Hello fellas, you don't need to get upset. You want to come up here? You don't want to be on the film, no? Hey, you don't want to be on camera. You beautiful fellas, you are. You want to come up here? I'll come out the way then. Out and about again today. Coming along the River Ouse, down in Buckinghamshire. And have a little walk around Stony Stratford. Used to live in Milton Keynes, so I know the area well. I'm just down here for work, visiting a couple of members of the family as well. Anyway, let's take you along for the ride. This is a lovely little part of the River Ouse, this, going around Stony Stratford. Paddled on the paddleboard here on occasion. Well, one occasion anyway. For those who aren't familiar, Stony Stratford is one of, I think it's 3, maybe 4 towns that make up the 4 points of Milton Keynes. I say 3 or 4 because it used to be Woburn Sands, which was a bit of a way out, but they've started building quite a lot out towards Woburn Sands now, so it kind of forms it. But it used to be Newport Pagnell, Stony Stratford and Bletchley in a rough triangle. But then, as I say, these days more with Woburn Sands as well, to make a rough odd shaped square stroke rectangle. Yeah, 3 old towns, Bletchley, Stony Stratford and Newport Pagnell. Bletchley and Stony Stratford both on Watling Street, which is an old Roman road that used to go from London, and well, it still does in actual fact. It's called the A5 now though, but from London up to, I think it's up as far as Carnarvon in the north of Wales, in all honesty, certainly up into North Wales anyway. And then we've got this lovely trail that we can walk along. So you've got Stony Stratford one side and fields the other, with the border being the Ouse itself, which we can just see down there. Very pretty stretch, quite deep bit of a river as well, this bit. There's a weir just up ahead which makes the river quite deep along here, and there's lots of people come swimming and paddle boarding and all sorts. Another old fallen tree there. Anyway, Stony Stratford, an old they called it an old coaching town. Used to a couple of old pubs in Stony Stratford where coaches used to stop before obviously cars were around. And then, as I say, Watling Street itself used to the cows over there in the field. Watling Street used to come through, the A5 used to come through Stony Stratford, but now there's a bypass that was introduced before I moved to Milton Keynes, I think. It was introduced to get around Stony Stratford itself, and then now you've got the A5 itself, which is a big dual carriageway which runs all of the way through Milton Keynes. Pleasant little houses in Stony Stratford as well. One of the older parts of Milton Keynes, so 1950s, 1960s houses as opposed to the 1970s, 1980s and beyond houses now in Milton Keynes, or the main part of Milton Keynes itself. As I suggested, down in Milton Keynes for a work meeting, and we decided to extend it a little bit and have a day off because I've got family in Milton Keynes, so get to see family as well at the same time as coming down for work. Got the day off on the Monday, meeting on a Tuesday, and back home to Northumberland Tuesday evening, which some of you know is quite a fair old trek, 250 odd miles, a little bit of a journey back. Yeah, and then wife is running from where our accommodation is in a place called Willen Lake, which is obviously a lake in Milton Keynes itself, and running along the canal and then the river to meet me here in Stony Stratford. And then this is called Ouse Valley Park. I must remember I'm down south, stop saying hello to everybody that I see. Well-known trait for being up north, everybody says hello to each other, but then when you come down south in the UK, people tend to keep themselves to themselves. It's quite amusing to keep a tally, in all fairness, of how many people you say morning to when you're down south versus how many people respond. And then the same up north. That's 3 people so far I've said morning to, and I think I've only got 1 morning in response. It's got an old stretch of river just down here to our right. And I think it's something that was built, well, it's obviously built because it's dead straight, but then a little bit further on, a little bit further on just up the way there's what used to be an old mill. As happens with these things, it's been converted into some sort of a dwelling, really flats. Very pleasant looking as well. Looks quite new actually, like it's been converted quite recently anyway. Just a quick skirt along the river there to get us midway into the town itself, rather than walking through a housing estate. Not that it's a bad housing estate, mind, but still a housing estate all the same. And why would you want to walk through a housing estate when you can walk along the river? Quite a few of the old Victorian terraces in Stony Stratford. Quite a few Victorian terraces in Milton Keynes, in fairness. You've got another one of the old towns that makes up the city a bit further down from here, a couple of miles, Wolverton. And Wolverton used to be it is on the west coast line from London up to Scotland. And that's used to be, they used to do all of the railway works there, so lots of Victorian terraces for the old railway workers. I just remember when I lived here, and I haven't lived here for quite a few years now, these trees were just so small, and now they're all growing up. It really is quite strange to see. So this is the old Market Square, 1770, that house there. Nice old pub across the way there. Anyway, the old Market Square, now a car park, as happens probably all too often with these sorts of places. As I said, the Crown, a nice pub in there, oldie. Then a bit of a new 1980s, 1970s shopping sort of precincts, but then lots of little alleyways as well. Morning. We got a morning back. 2 mornings back. That's nice. I've gone all northern, even though my accent and my voice doesn't suggest the same. Look at the wrinkly old tops of the houses there. Well, they're called the tops of houses, not eaves, is it? I imagine there's quite a lot of listed buildings here in Stony Stratford. As I say, coaching towns, so lots of coaching, old coaching taverns. Straight, dead straight, because it's an old Roman road. The Old George Hotel. Then a couple of more there, the Bull Hotel. And the Cock Hotel, very well known pubs. 1928, that's quite an interesting church. Didn't realise it was quite as young as that though. Quarter to 10 already, blimey. St Mary's and St Giles Church. Used to be a Lloyds Bank. Closed now, as so many banks branches these days are. Trying to cross the road to avoid finding people so that they don't appear in the video, but every time I cross the road, because people are coming on one side, I seem to transfer over to the other side. Another old coaching type entrance there. Very old one, probably beams. Lots of beams in there, can't quite see them. It's turned into a barber's by the looks. It used to be a pub. Weird. The sounds of the city. This used to be an old college and boys' school before that, and now turned into flats. Lovely old house there, with the beam at the top for unloading carriages and things. Temperance Terrace. Let's go down Temperance Terrace. Actually, no, let's not go down Temperance Terrace. I thought you could get through to the back end of the park there, but I don't think you can. This used to be an old yard. I think they used to have caravans and things like that in there now, but they're now turning that into yet more housing. And we're out the other side. A bit noisy down there really for me these days. Stratford North End Pond project. Across the road quickly. Stony Stratford North End Pond project. Formerly waste ground covered by brambles. Been made into a wetland, presumably for frogs and all sorts of invertebrates. You've got the A5 which carries on up there to Old Stratford. Stony Stratford, then Old Stratford. And then out to a place called Toaster, which is another lovely old town if you get a chance to go to it. And then out through past Birmingham and off up to the northwest before finally getting into Wales. And then we're back into Ouse Valley Park now. Head back to the car. And get away from all the noise of traffic and people. Very sought after town for living in is Stony Stratford, one of the old parts of Milton Keynes. Swallowed up loads of villages and stuff as well when it was built. Milton Keynes village itself, which is where it derives its name from. So you can just see the top of that school come boys home there, which we walked past just a second ago. And then this is called Lion Close. That church spire. Doesn't take long in Milton Keynes to get out to nice quiet places, countryside. I can hear a bit of noise from the A5 in the background there. The big dual carriageway I spoke about earlier. It's got one of these gravelly roads, cinder trail as I call them. Nice and accessible if you struggle a bit with walking, or in a wheelchair or something along those sorts of lines, or if you want to push a buggy around with a child. And there's a River is just down there. What a gorgeous morning that is. Mid-September 2024 in the UK. And then we've come round, that's the back of the mill. It's the back of that straight river that we saw before. Tromp, tromp, tromp. Who's that treading on my bridge? Ouse Valley Park, Millfield. It'll be a floodplain basically for river overflows, which I think it frequently does here. Certainly used to. Lots of people on their phones. Just make me chuckle. What did we do so many years ago before we had these mobile phones with our instant communication and apps and all sorts? Certainly a nice tranquil river today. A bit milky. A nice old bridge with a long plank. That's the footbridge over the River Ouse, known as the Long Plank, meets the footpath to Parsenham. Evidence has been found in Parsenham of two Iron Age settlements, East Allshalls Coppice and West Allshalls Coppice. Between 1957 and 1972, gravel excavations to the west of the River Great Ouse revealed a Roman villa. And it's thought that site was occupied between the 1st and 3rd centuries AD. We're not going that way. That was a little tour of Stony Stratford then. In the north west corner of Milton Keynes. Beautiful little town, like I said. If you ever want to come and visit, I'm sure you can find out lots and lots of more facts than I've done on this video. But as always, please like, subscribe and click the bell button. And thank you very much for watching.